We don't really lose time. We just stop feeling it. Days blur into motion, and motion starts to feel like meaning. But beneath all that noise, something inside us quietly fades. There was a time when summers lasted forever, when a single day felt endless, and the world was wide enough to hold wonder. Now, the years collapse into moments before we even notice them. Maybe time isn't speeding up. Maybe we've simply stopped being present. The older we get, the faster life seems to move. Years blur into seasons, and seasons blur into weeks. You look up one day and realize a decade has passed in what felt like a single breath. As children, we lived inside moments. A day could stretch like a lifetime. Every sound was new. Every color had meaning. Time wasn't something we measured. It was something we felt. Now, the clock rules everything. Wake, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. We call it progress, but somewhere along the way, we stop noticing how alive time used to feel. The sun still rises, the hours still pass, but something inside us, the way we see time, has shifted. Once that shift happens, the world never feels as wide again. This is a story about that shift, about how we drifted from living moments to simply counting them. Remembering how to live, that's the hardest part. The world keeps moving, even when we stop. Somewhere between the noise and the silence, we forget what stillness feels like. Maybe that's why time slips away so easily, because we no longer stand still long enough to feel it pass. We move through moments without fully inhabiting them. We photograph sunsets instead of watching them fade. We count steps instead of walking without reason. We plan the future as if the present were an obstacle. Each time we do, the distance between life and living widens. Yet, every once in a while, something breaks the rhythm. A song from years ago, a scent that takes you home, a single moment that feels strangely eternal. For a second, time expands again, and you remember who you were before everything started rushing by. There was a time when life felt endless, not because the days were longer, but because we were fully there to feel them. The world seemed vast, drenched in color, sound, and possibility. Every hour felt like its own small universe. As children, we didn't measure time. We dissolved into it. Every sound, every texture, every color arrived like a discovery. The hum of cicadas at noon, the coolness of a marble floor under bare feet, the smell of grass after rain. Even silence had a texture. Each sensation stretched time a little further, making the world feel alive in ways we can barely remember. A single afternoon could last forever. The minutes before a birthday felt like days. The countdown to summer vacation stretched into eternity. When the final school bell rang, it wasn't just a sound. It was freedom echoing through our bones. We were constantly encountering firsts, first fears, first joys, first heartbreaks. Every experience left an imprint, and those imprints slowed time. That's the secret of childhood. The clock never moved slower. We did. We hadn't yet learned to look past moments in search of what's next. Every second demanded our attention, and we gave it willingly. But somewhere along the line, that attention faded. The world that once invited us to explore became a place we moved through. The thrill of discovery turned into the comfort of routine. We stopped looking closely. We traded wonder for familiarity. And that's when time began to shrink. Not because it changed, but because we did. We learned to measure before we learned to feel. Adulthood crept in quietly. It didn't announce itself. It just arrived one morning, disguised as routine. One day, we stopped chasing the unknown and began repeating what we already knew. The world didn't change. Our eyes did. The same streets, the same walls, the same morning rituals became checkpoints. Familiarity became comfort, and comfort became a cage. We started trading curiosity for control, adventure for security, presence for productivity. The same 24 hours that once felt infinite now vanish without a trace. When life becomes predictable, the mind stops recording. Repetition dulls awareness, and the years blur together. We fill the silence with noise, the hum of plans, playlists, endless scrolling, and confuse motion for meaning. We fill our calendars with motion and mistake doing for living. But beneath all that motion, life stands still. Each day begins to mirror the last, until even joy feels rehearsed. The more we try to save time, the more we lose it. The faster we move, the less of ourselves we bring along. The collapse isn't in the world but within us, in the quiet spaces we no longer visit, in the dreams we postponed until they stopped returning, in the corners of the mind once lit by wonder, now dimmed by routine. Sometimes it feels as if we replaced the mystery of being alive with the management of existing. We're surrounded by possibilities, but live inside repetition. The future arrives faster, and yet it feels smaller each time. In 1922, two men stood on opposite sides of a question that still shapes how we live today. What is time? One was Albert Einstein, the scientist who bent and measured it. The other was Henri Bergson, the philosopher who believed that by trying to measure time, we had already lost touch with what it truly was. Their encounter was quiet, a lecture hall in Paris, filled with minds trying to grasp reality. In that silence, two worlds collided: physics and philosophy, logic and lived experience. Einstein saw time as a map, a precise web of coordinates and clocks, a fabric that curved with gravity and motion. For him, time was not personal, it was mathematical and indifferent. Bergson looked at the same ticking second and saw something entirely different. He called that kind of time an illusion, a shadow cast by our obsession with order. The true pulse of time, he said, lived within us, in memory, emotion, and awareness. To Einstein, time was something to explain. To Bergson, something to experience. One measured seconds, the other breathed them. Einstein's time explains the cosmos. Bergson's time explains consciousness. Between those two views, we built our modern existence, efficient, connected, always accelerating and quietly starving for meaning. Maybe that's why we feel time speeding up, because we've built a world ruled by the clock, not by experience. We're fluent in seconds, but strangers to moments. Bergson called it duration, time not as a line, but as a living current, always folding into itself. He believed every moment holds the echo of what came before. The past doesn't vanish. It lingers, shaping how we see, think, and feel. Every decision, every emotion, carries traces of what we once were. And the future isn't waiting somewhere ahead. It already lives inside us as potential and intention. When you start to see time this way, something shifts. You stop measuring life in lines and numbers and begin to feel it in layers. Each second is not separate, but intertwined, a rhythm of becoming that never stops moving. The moment you're in isn't just now, it's every version of you that ever existed, breathing together in silence. Think about a song. It isn't the notes themselves that matter, it's the flow between them, the silence that carries the sound. That space gives the melody its soul. Time works the same way. It isn't the seconds that define it, but the awareness that connects them. When we rush, the rhythm breaks. The melody turns to static. When we listen, truly listen, we start to hear time again. Imagine standing in a forest, no phone, no noise, nowhere else to be. You can hear wind touch the leaves, the distant hum of life unfolding, the faint pulse of your own breath. That is duration. Not measured time, but lived time. It doesn't move forward or backward, it deepens. Bergson's secret was simple. Time expands when we are present, and it contracts when we are not. The more we live inside awareness, the longer life becomes, not in years, but in depth. We live in a world that worships speed, faster connections, faster results, faster lives. Every second is a transaction, traded for progress, validation, the illusion of being ahead. We chase efficiency as if it were purpose itself. But the faster we move, the less we see. We scroll through fragments of other people's moments and call it connection. When the screen finally goes dark, the silence that follows feels heavier than ever. We've built lives designed to keep us on, notifications, deadlines, endless growth. In chasing more time, we lost what gave it meaning, our presence within it. This is the modern paradox. We save time only to feel we have less of it. We fill our days with motion, yet remember almost nothing. Everything is instant, yet nothing lasts. The rhythm feels alive, but it's mechanical, a digital heartbeat with no pulse beneath it. We live in a loop of almost living, almost feeling, almost being. Progress without presence. Beneath it all, a quiet ache remains, a whisper that surfaces between distractions when the noise fades. When did I stop feeling alive? Maybe time isn't something that slips away. Maybe it's something we stopped meeting halfway. Time doesn't run, we do. We rush through mornings we'll never remember and scroll past sunsets we'll never really see. Life isn't waiting at the end of our deadlines. It's hidden in the spaces we overlook. The taste of morning coffee before the noise begins, the sound of rain tapping gently against the window, the way sunlight moves across the wall throughout the day. It's in the pauses, the breaths between words, the seconds we give our full attention to something small and real. To slow time, we don't need more hours. We need more presence. To stop chasing every second and instead start inhabiting them. When we stop trying to hold time and start living inside it, everything softens. Moments begin to open like doors we forgot existed. When we truly notice, when we give full attention to this exact moment, it stretches. A minute can feel like an hour. Time itself becomes elastic, responsive, alive. Maybe growing older isn't about losing time, but about finally understanding it. Time will keep moving, quietly, indifferently, with or without us. But how we feel it, that's still ours to shape. Some people measure life by years, others by moments that actually meant something. Maybe time isn't the enemy we think it is. Maybe it's the mirror, showing us how little we've truly lived. The faster it seems to pass, the more it's asking us to pay attention. Because what we call losing time is often just losing presence. The memories you thought were gone were never lost. They were waiting for you to slow down enough to feel them. So breathe, look around, and let this second unfold without rushing to the next. Because this, right now, is the only moment time has ever truly given you. In the end, we can't stop time, but we can remember we were here when it passed. If this stirred you, hit that like button, subscribe for the next journey, and turn on notifications. Time doesn't really slip away. We drift away from it. Maybe the only way to catch it again is to remember how to slow down. And tell me, when was the last time you truly felt a moment, not measured it?